In this last video, I want to give you some tips and tricks for some common things that show up on your exam that might trip you up. Remember, the concept here is net operating income divided by selling price gives us rate of return. And in most of the questions, you're going to have to figure out the net operating income, which means you'll go with gross potential income. You'll subtract off vacancy, which will give you what we call gross realized income. Then you'll subtract off operating expenses and you'll get the net operating income number. What they commonly do on the exam is they want to test your ability to see if you understand the technical terms or if you're reading the questions too quickly. So in some questions, instead of giving you gross potential income, they will give you gross realized, which means they've already subtracted off the vacancy for you. But just to see if you're paying attention, the vacancy number will be in the question. So read the questions very carefully, and if they've given you gross realized, do not subtract off the vacancy because it's already been done. That's a very common trap. A second trap is you will run across a question where you're trying to figure out the price of a subject property. But they'll tell you that that subject property needs immediate repairs, $50,000 or $20,000. And what commonly students get confused on is they say, oh, I guess that's part of the operating expenses. It's absolutely not. The best way to consider this is, imagine if you're going to buy an apartment, and apartments in this neighborhood are selling for $1,000 a square foot. And you're looking at a 1,000 square foot apartment. So all else being equal, you should pay $1 million for this apartment. But imagine the appliances that are included in the home in this case. Let's say the dishwasher is broken. So you would say to the person, well, you're not going to change the $1,000 a square foot estimate because that still holds for this whole property or this building. But I would say, look, your property would be worth $1 million, but I got to take off maybe $1,500 for a dishwasher or $2,000. So whenever you have immediate repairs required, you take that amount off at the end, the very end, because it doesn't change the rate of return of this whole building. It doesn't change what the average square foot price is of this whole building. It means that this unit had some specific issues. So if you ever see a question, and it's very likely where they tell you there's immediate repairs required, you subtract those off at the end. 2 little tips to watch out for to make sure you don't trip up.